We started off a little rocky first half. I love how we responded. I think our defense really carried us a couple of those quarters. I think we held them to, 21, 22 in the second and third. Did a great job of just hanging tough. That's a very good team. I know that they're undermanned right now. They got a couple of their superstars out, but they've been playing some good basketball. So great way to end the trip, against a very good team.
What do you feel like you guys found in that third quarter? I think it's 40-21. You guys outscore them, but you guys flipped the score line in about 2 minutes to start that.
Well, I think, we were able to start getting some stops again and then allowed us to get in transition a little bit better before their defense could set up. They play extremely hard. I thought they played extremely hard defense. They were denying. They were trying to deny Dame. They were building walls on Giannis, making it difficult. But I thought we just stuck with it. And I think our entire bench, those guys that came in gave us a boost. I thought Marjon coming in, PC, Bobby, they were huge off the bench tonight. So it's been a tough but rewarding trip especially during this time of the season where you can easily just throw in a towel and go home and be satisfied with 500 basketball. But this is a great way for us to, then we have a day off tomorrow. So good job. Players were awesome.
I think Chris gets his 10th assist somewhere midway into the third quarter. Just what do you see from him as a playmaker?
His vision and, he just said his skill set, he has the size and the skill to make those passes over the top. That takes feel, and it takes timing. And then he just has great, rapport with his teammates. You can see it. Chris to Giannis, Chris to Brook, lobs over the top. We're kind of playing him at the backup point tonight. And I thought he did a phenomenal job, we needed those assists. Allen plugs the paint. It was difficult to get in there, so we really had to execute at a high level. So I was extremely pleased how we responded in that second half.
The restricted area has been a strength of yours all season. In the third quarter, you guys were 9 of 11 in the restricted area. How do you feel that interior attack helped flip everything for you?
Well, we have a couple guys that can really get to the rim. Giannis, and then Dame didn't settle. He was able to. He just has he has a knack to get low, and he has explosive step. Where he can shift gears and get in the paint, and then the strength to finish through contact. I thought a couple of times. And then he was able to draw fouls. So I think Giannis, he's relentless. He can miss 2 or 3 at the rim, but he's going to keep going in there. And he was huge, in the second half of not settling and getting to the rim.
I'm sure some of those 43 attempts they had from 3, they'll think were good looks that didn't go in. But, to shoot 14%, what did you like from your defense at times that made some of those looks a little tough?
Well, that was part of the game plan, knowing that they're letting it fly, right? They were averaging 45, I think 46 threes a game, somewhere around there. So, and they've been successful at it. I think prior to tonight, they were 5-1 or 6-1 in the last 5 or 6 games. So, 6, 7 games or whatever. They've been playing some really good basketball, and you could credit that to the way that they've been shooting the 3. And they put guys out there that can really let it fly. And so it was a big emphasis coming in on how we're going to protect the three-point line. And number one, it was in transition. Sometimes transition defense is the area where we're struggling with, but I thought we did a pretty good job of getting back, not giving up a lot of transition threes. And then, the game plan was, know who the shooters are, be physical with them, ride them off the line, or keep them down. I thought our players really did a great job of just following the game plan, and we were able to rebound. As well. I don't know how many offensive rebounds Allen had tonight, but in the previous game, he had 9 offensive rebounds, and it seemed like we kind of kept him under control a little bit better than their previous game.
Dame, 3 fouls, 7 points in the first half. I mean, in your experience, scores like that that's not an okay thing. Like, you kind of think he's going to get going in the second half. Did you get that sense, or did you feel that way? You go into halftime, he doesn't get his minutes, has 7 points, he scores 24 in the second half.
At halftime, I just, told him, like, if you get going, we're gonna be okay. And it's not rocket science for me. I'm drawing up plays for Dane coming out of ATOs or on the fly. But I think the biggest thing that impressed me about tonight, not just how Dame is just able to take over a game offensively, but the trust that Dame and Giannis built in that fourth quarter at the end. I know it's 32 games in, but I thought I was the best. I know it's the last 5-6 minutes where, they really, you could see, like, Giannis started to trust Dame, and they go into the 2-man game, and it's hard to stop. They went in kind of our pitch action, and that was beautiful. We need more of that from those two guys, and that I had nothing to do with that. They took it upon themselves. There's times where I'm trying to manufacture that type of action where I can call a play or whatnot, but in the flow of the game, for them to just take the initiative amongst themselves, I mean, that shows our growth.
I'm sure Brook didn't love the first quarter with the start Allen had, but what do you think of him being able to stick with it defensively? And I think he ends the game with 6 points.
No, listen, I thought Brook did a great job, and Allen made shots. He shot maybe 4 or 5 jumpers, and we're kind of non-paint twos, and we have to live with some of those. You just got to take away the dunks and the layups and the old boards. I thought Brook did a tremendous job, and he's, like always, he should be up there with Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, just with his his defensive commitment. He's I hope that he gets rewarded. And I know the All-Star game, is coming up, but he leads our league in blocks. You have to reward those guys. I was a defensive guy as well. Like, it's the skills as well. I know it's not as pretty as seeing the threes go in, but the gritty stuff is that's how you win ball games. And what can we say about him more than he's just a constant professional, and he made some tough plays and blocks at the rim, big time plays. So I like to see him get rewarded for that.
How big was Malik Beasley in keeping your offense in the game in the first half?
We know Malik is he's going to make shots, right? You get him clean looks, he's going to knock it down. I was more pleased about just him taking the defensive stance. He was his energy, his effort, he's fighting through screens. Like, Mitchell he's tough. He's tough to guard, and he can do it all. He's shifty. He rejected us a couple times, got to the rim. He can shoot the three, but just Bees, the way he started the game, his energy when he started to make a couple defensive stops. I mean, it's a tough job for him because he's usually guarding the toughest guy on the other side of the ball. But he was used. It's good to have him out there to keep the defensive honest. The knocking down those threes. I think he's leading in some category as far as his 3-point percentage. I mean, he's just having a great year. It's great to see a young guy like him, and I know he's not as young as maybe a year or two player, but he still has a lot of basketball in him, and I think just everything that he's had to overcome just shows the character of this guy, and I'm just extremely happy for him.
The lineups could obviously be different next month, but you'll face this team 3 more times in January. Just, your thoughts on the matchup and how they challenge you.
Well, when Mobley gets back, then now you got 2 7-footers out there that protect they've always been top 5 in defense when they have those 2 guys out. Then Garland gives him, he's the head of the snake, him and Mitchell, and he's the point guard. They're missing 2 key players. So, yeah, it'll probably be, we have to fight harder. It's going to be definitely a battle. But I like how we're finding that identity, especially on the defensive end of those are two elite defensive quarters that we put up, able to hold them, under 25 points in a couple of those quarters. So we just got to keep building. Like it's a long season, but I like how we're progressing on both sides of the ball.